On today's show, we check out a watch with a powerful laser on board.
Transportation that is all fueled by human waste.
Excrement?
Poop.
Good. All right, that sounds exciting. And Spider-Man gloves that you can scale a building with without the need of a radioactive spider bite.
Finally.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tomorrow Daily. Greetings, citizens of the internet. Welcome to Tomorrow Daily, the best geek talk show in the known universe. I'm your host, Ashley Esqueda. Joining me, as always, every week, in and out, Kale Anonymous.
I almost hit you.
You did.
I did.
But I saw in my peripheral vision that there was enough space.
Yeah.
I had my reflexes ready.
All right.
It was good.
So we're doing good. We're gearing up mentally for CES coming up soon.
Yeah, we've got, I think it's like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It's not great. Like, listen, I always CES is extremely stressful for everybody in the industry because they all got to get to Vegas, lots of stuff going on. But until we get into that next month, let's hit the headlines. So if you have ever thought to yourself, you know, this watch is pretty great, but it could really use a laser.
Yep.
Which I'm sure is a pretty regular occurrence in your brain.
My diarrhea.
Yeah. Well, now you can have that. This is pretty awesome. So
that sounds dangerous.
It really is. From a German inventor. This is Patrick Priebe. He's actually the owner of the company Laser Gadgets. And if you might be familiar with his work on YouTube, he's Anselmo Fan Zero. We've actually talked about him on the show before. This is his watch creation right here. It is a digital watch. And it also, as you can see in the video, shoots out a 1,500 milliwatt laser that this guy custom built himself. Like the whole thing he custom built, including the buttons. He like hand machined them. I mean, this guy is a crazy good inventor. Crazy good. So he built this whole thing himself. He was inspired by James Bond. Which this is very Q-esque. This is very Q-like to build something like this. He spends most of the video burning up stuff. Which is awesome. He's like lighting matches and all that stuff. He mentions that you can only keep the laser on for a very short period of time because of the battery life inside the watch.
Oh yeah, probably overheat too, right?
Right. So well, and also you have a little bit of the laser's kind of glare on his. If you'll see it on the top of his hand, like there's a little bit of blue on there,
which I'm sure hurts.
Which I'm sure over a period of time would probably not be the most exciting thing ever for your hand to feel. But yeah, there he is. He's lighting off matches with this.
Well, look at
laser,
that.
which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned, we actually have talked about him before. He's made a couple of other things. One of which we discussed on the show a long time ago, months ago. He made an Iron Man glove that shoots a missile. And he also made a Spider-Man electromagnetic web slinging device. Check this out.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
So he made this. And so instead of it being an actual physical web that shoots out from this glove, it is an electromagnetic pulse that shoots. So watch, he'll hit this trash can or this like lampshade or something.
Cool.
Isn't that awesome? So yeah, he builds.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah, he builds all kinds of stuff. I'm sure you've seen some of his work on YouTube if you like hanging around on YouTube. I mean, a lot of his videos get like regular, like 2 million, 3 million, 4 million hits. But yeah, and he said, unfortunately, probably this is not going to be coming to mass market, this watch that he built.
Oh, bummer.
But it is available, as many products that he builds, available to order on his website.
There's just one or what?
Yeah, he builds so much stuff.
How much does it cost? Did they say? How much would you pay for it?
So he said it would probably be at least $300 or more.
Okay.
He said at least, and that was even, like, I think when he had said that, it was like that's a baseline. Probably materials, I think, cost him, like, I think he said around $150 or $200.
Yeah.
So it's like
labor,
time. I mean, he had to machine all the little buttons and everything, make everything work. So I would imagine that it would not be very cheap.
Right, so it tells you time and it does a laser.
Tells you time and it shoots a laser, and that's pretty much it.
Really
Which honestly, some people might like better than an Apple Watch. I don't know.
That's
like
true.
some people actually would say, I would rather have a laser than all these other functions on any other smartwatch.
How many conversations have you had where you're just like, I wish I could laser that person
right
now?
I wish I could just burn out their retinas.
Yeah. And then,
I don't have those thoughts, but somebody does, I'm sure. Maybe you're thinking it right now about us.
Yeah, the YouTubers definitely have
definitely
that thought.
for sure.
Yeah.
Kel,
Okay.
please tell me about this.
Every single time I mention
bus.
this, you giggle
I'm
like
a child.
little,
It's
like
because
a
I'm a
little
5-year-old
schoolgirl.
child.
Right, yeah. So what I want to talk to you today about is the biobus, which is a bus that runs off of human waste and also food waste.
Oh, that's human waste. We eat it and throw it out.
Yeah, human waste
Fair
and food waste. So basically, this is a bus, an actual public transportation bus that runs off of this matter. More specifically, the biomethane that is produced. So there's no like poop inside the bus.
So I couldn't just like go in the bus and then power it and keep it going.
There's no toilets inside the bus where you just drop it and do. It's just it's purely already
it's already processed.
It's processed and ready to go.
So it probably doesn't smell bad.
It doesn't smell at all.
Good.
No. But yeah, the bus is operational. Just started up a route from Bath to Bristol Airport in the UK. So
if anybody's ridden on this bus, please email us.
I heard it's a gas.
A real gas. Oh boy.
So
That's just
yeah,
depressing.
but
how far does it go?
It goes 186 miles on a single tank, and now that is basically a single tank is 5 humans worth of waste for 1 year. So
that's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot.
I read that as like no, that's a.
That seems like but they have to. I guess they have to process it. They have to get rid of anything that's not. They process
can't
it
use
down.
the actual waste. They have to use the biomethane.
sense.
But
That
I
makes
mean,
sense.
yeah. Biomethane it already has that so much potency as like a fuel, so you might as well.
And I'd imagine it's really green.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, this is
like I think I read somewhere it's like 90% more efficient. Like greenhouse gas wise, is 90% more efficient than actual gasoline.
It's more efficient than gas. Yeah, 90%.
That's pretty good. Well, hey, listen, if you're in the UK and you've ridden the biobus, call us, talk to us, email us, whatever. Find us on social media.
Skype us from the bus.
Just Skype us. You could Skype us or hang out us from the bus. You could do either. That would be fun. So I mentioned Spider-Man gloves earlier.
Yeah, tell me about Spider-Man gloves.
But
you're into Spider-Man today.
These are for real Spider-Man gloves,
which
is pretty cool. It allows you to scale a smooth surface like a building with a bunch of windows. So this came from Stanford researchers. They've created this pair of gloves that, like I said, allows you to scale a building, just like Spider-Man.
Nice and slow.
And the thing is we've kind of seen a lot of stuff like this, but if you'll really look at the video, you'll see that he actually only has sticky pads on his hands, and then there's like these pipes that come down, and then there's steps that he's sort of using like to get, see? He's like stepping up.
Right.
See, he's like there's like a little platform there for his feet. So one of the things about this particular type of kind of sticky pad, it's very gecko-like. This is sort of the model that scientists have been trying to replicate for many, many years. This one is being touted as kind of a big deal because this is kind of a breakthrough in this type of research. So they're super efficient. This is why they're such a big deal. They're made of nanofibers as opposed to an adhesive or a glue. And for people to stick to smooth surfaces and to climb them, they would have to scale up gecko-like pads to be human-sized, and then the person climbing would have to use as much of the surface space as possible to be able to get the same type of effect.
Yeah.
So as compared to a gecko. But these new pads use springs made of like almost like a memory alloy, so it's like a shape memory alloy. So actually, as it gets tense, it actually becomes less rigid. So they used to use springs before, like spring type mechanisms for this, and they would get tighter as they would be pulled, right? So they get tenser. But now, like with this stuff, which is called a shape memory alloy, they actually get less tense than springs when they're pulled. They're a little bit more pliable.
Oh, okay.
So it allows the climber to completely, almost perfectly, evenly distribute their weight in such a way that it makes it easy for them to climb. That's why it's being considered a breakthrough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was the weight distribution that they were trying to figure out.
Right. That was and that's a really hard thing because if one of those plates goes bad, then in previous studies it couldn't make up for that, plate going wrong. Couldn't compensate. This one does. It'll compensate for it.
Nice.
Because of how it's put together. So it's really impressive, really impressive stuff.
Who did this?
Stanford
okay.
researchers. And it works with a person up to 200 pounds. So you can have somebody up to 200 pounds.
All right.
Kale and I can't stand on Kale's shoulders and climb.
No,
we
together
wouldn't
we're
make
201 pounds.
Too much, 201 pounds. So
but I noticed it was moving a little slow. Does it take a while for it to adhere?
I would imagine it takes a while to really like A, get the surface on, and then B, I mean, you don't want to fall. So it's like you really want to make sure that's on there and sticking really good before you make that next move.
Okay.
Kind of like rock climbing. I mean, I think in some ways that takes a long time.
Takes nerve too.
Yeah, a lot of nerve. I mean, if you're any higher than 4 feet off the ground, 6 feet off the ground, it's gotta be really
he made
scary.
it about this high off the ground, but I'm sure somebody.
I'm sure he climbed up higher.
We need to get someone extreme to get on there and do that.
Yeah, we got to get with Felix Baumgartner. Can we get him to do it?
Let's get him out there.
What's Red Bull doing? Have him sponsor some sort of building climb.
Buildings,
yeah, for like 3 years. He'll just climb.
That's pretty cool. Well, you were saying some of the practical uses could be to like, save somebody off of. You were talking about the guys who were
the
stuck
window
in the
washers
building,
who were stuck up in New York. They were stuck at the top of the new World Trade Center building, and I felt really bad for them. But they could have used this. They could have just climbed up and climbed into it.
Maybe I missed this, but it could adhere to any sort of.
It's
texture?
like smooth, very smooth surfaces.
Smooth,
yeah,
so
you're not going to be
like
climbing a
glass
stucco wall with this. Yeah, so it's
right.
still very much in
specific.
development,
Okay.
but really cool.
Yeah,
so,
neat.
look, you want to take a quick 30-second break?
Yeah, let's make it 29 seconds.
Okay, 29-second break, and check out this video, and we'll be back in 30. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We have returned from our brief 30-second break. A lot of times when we do Back It or Hack It on this show, we always back it. And this one, I'm not so sure about.
Really?
Yeah, so let's hit Back It or Hack It.
Hack it.
This week's, he's like, I'm out. I don't even want to talk about it. This week's Back It or Hack It is called Blood Sport. All right, let's just think about that for a minute. This is a pretty crazy campaign, and I'll explain why. I'm going to tell you the status of the campaign in a couple of minutes, but the idea is that you would create a system that would allow you to donate blood while you play video games, and it would use an Arduino controller and a Rumble Pack, any controller, theoretically, that could...
good. All right,
and then when you get hit, you donate blood. So every time you get hit in the game, this blood donating machine would then take a little bit of your blood away. And then when it finished a full donation's worth, they would be like, ding, ding, okay, you're done, like donating blood, good for you. It's super weird. It's super weird. So yeah, like if you're a little squeamish about blood, I'm sorry. But I saw this and I'm like, we got to talk about this on the show because this is crazy town. Yeah, so here's this machine.
I can't imagine using the control because you use the muscles in your
arms. And it pokes you. It takes a little. It's a little bit weird. So yeah, works with Arduino, like I said, and a hack Nintendo Rumble Pack for the prototype. They're saying that theoretically it could work with any controller that has Rumble technology. So it could be anything. And the team, these two guys, want to collect. They want to create a blood collecting multiplayer unit, and they want to go around and set up like 4-person or 8-person matches where they like collect blood from like 8 people at a time. I guess they would play like Halo Deathmatch. Like they play death matches. It's weird. To back it, it's $10 to come see it and try it out in person when they go on tour. So that's what it is. That's Bloodsport. Do you want to know what the status is of this Kickstarter? Kelly, you seem so quiet.
Sure. Yeah,
you're going to be okay? You're going to pass out?
Yeah, sure.
You're getting a little squeamish?
Show me the status.
Boom. Suspended. Kickstarter suspended it.
Oh, what?
Yeah, they suspended it.
Why?
They won't say why.
Okay.
Kickstarter says it's their policy not to comment on suspended projects.
It's probably because it's like medical. It's
Here's
like
the thing.
it's like
that's what I was thinking.
human.
Biomedical, like there's hazards involved. Of course, people are very frightened globally of Ebola right now, which is you can spread that disease. I'm sure that's probably like a weird minor like offshoot concern, but really at the end of the day, it seems extremely like not.
Yeah, you're hooking yourself up to a video game that pulls blood out of your body.
Well, it's just any video game, and then it's like it's a machine that like when you play, this Arduino microcontroller tells the machine to take blood from you when you get hit.
Yeah.
So it goes by the rumble.
Right.
Which is really weird. But yeah, suspended. But they had been up for a while, since the 18th. So it was like last week, like a week ago they were up. They'd raised about $3,000. But here's the thing, like they wanted a lot. And so they weren't even close, but they still had like a month to go. But yeah, Kickstarter was like, yoink. They literally gave them the gong.
They
and
hacked
were like,
it.
no.
They hacked it for
They hacked
them.
it for themselves.
Very cool.
I really do think, like, sorry anybody who's really looking forward to trying this, but you will not be participating in Bloodsport, the Kickstarter, anytime soon. But they suspended it. And I'd imagine it's something, like you said, it's something that has to do with like biomedical hazards and cleanliness and sanitation.
I am all for donating blood.
I am too. I do it all the time.
But I'm not in on this.
No,
this is
we
not
hack
for
it.
me. And we're gamers
Hack,
too.
hack.
Like those two worlds don't really collide.
No,
that
it
often.
seems like a weird way to make them collide. So I'm gonna go no.
Yeah, they had a Resident Evil blood donating thing, and you get to play the game early after you donate blood. Like that's the way.
Okay, cool.
I don't
Like
wanna,
you get people to
play
donate.
Resident Evil and be in pain.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's just a little bit weird, Bloodsport. But I figured we had to discuss.
It is interesting. It is very interesting.
I mean, hey,
like
A
it.
for effort, you guys. Maybe a little bit misguided.
You find some crazy stuff.
People think of you got to think of something unique, and they certainly did. So there you go.
Yep.
I'll give them credit for that. Bloodsport
Canceled.
It's just suspended by Kickstarter.
Canceled.
So you'll be getting your money back if you backed it.
No more blood sports.
Guess what? It's time for.
Wait.
Oh.
Maybe they got sued by Bloodsport the movie.
Oh, that's got to be it. Maybe Jean-Claude Van Damme just came to their house and kicked them in the face. That's got to be it.
Canceled. Yeah. All right. So can we do user feedback?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it. I like the idea of Jean-Claude Van Damme just knocking on the door and be like, "You've taken Bloodsport. I'm taking it back."
I like any Kickstarter that doesn't make their money. He comes to their house and kicks them.
Perfect.
Perfect.
He's like, "This is your Kickstarter," and then he kicks you in the face.
Greenlight it.
So user feedback. Last week we asked you guys to use the hashtag TDConcert to tell us what concerts of the future could look like, and we got one singular Twitter response. I don't know about YouTube because you didn't tell me if there's anybody, but here's our response from Twitter. It came from Ezra, and Ezra says, "Why go to a zero gravity space concert in a dome when you can sit in good old Earth gravity?" And then he has guy wearing Oculus looking at a concert, future party. It's made me laugh very much. Very, very much.
So good, Ezra. Nicely done.
It
I
really
love
made
how
me
the
laugh.
visual really.
You guys, when you guys attach visuals, it really just takes user feedback to a whole new level.
I'm so glad I don't look at these before the show.
No, because I even now, like I'm looking at it, just makes me happy. Like it just makes me laugh so much.
Perfect response. I'm glad. Yeah.
It's really great.
Great.
Your hashtag of the day today, because I forgot it during our news story,
okay.
is we're going back to the Spider-Man gloves here, is TDPOWERS. And we want you guys to tell us what superhero power or ability you would want and how it would work in the real world. So you can't just be like, I would fly and I have nothing. So maybe, I would want to fly. I want to be able to fly by myself. So I would want like a little drone with a capsule that I could step in and then it would just take me places.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's like the Jetsons.
Kind of like the Jetsons,
Okay.
yeah. My whole life dream is kind of like the Jetsons. I think that's actually, if I had a Latin motto, like underneath like a family crest, it would just say kind of like the Jetsons.
E pluribus Jetsons?
Yeah, E pluribus Jetsons.
You'd be really lazy because you just wouldn't have to walk anywhere, just on the conveyor belts.
But at least I'd be standing. Wouldn't be like cupcake in a cup like Wall-E. I wouldn't be in like a little remote controlled machine.
In a cup.
That's my favorite part of Wall-E. I mean, it's not, but I love that movie so much.
I know.
That always stuck with me.
I feel like that's your next tattoo.
Yeah, the Septu anniversary, or whatever it is. It's like the 700-year anniversary of them being on the Axiom, and they're like, "Here's your complimentary cupcake in a cup." I'm like, that's our future, guys.
That's great.
That's gonna be us. What about you?
I'd have Professor X's powers.
Oh, okay.
And you just put a big old smartphone in my head. Just put it in there.
Just drop it right in the middle.
But I'd have to go like, hey, okay, Google. I'd be like.
But you'd only hear that in your brain, just the chime of the okay Google.
Yeah, I would look like a lunatic.
You would, definitely.
But I would know everything magically, and I'd be able to I couldn't read your mind, but I could check your Twitter and know what you kind of were thinking.
Oh, all right, okay, cool.
So that's what I'm saying. And how he can find
an approximation of real world powers.
It's like a really lame Professor X. So
it's like a realistic Professor
Very
X.
realistic. So it'd be like, oh, Professor, find out where all the mutants are. And I'd be like, cool, hold on. look them up on Facebook, like that kind of
and then
thing.
you find, okay, and then you're like, here's where one of them is. I got it.
One
okay.
of them
That makes
is
sense.
at the beach, you know. So,
I like it. I like it. That's a good
so
one.
what is yours? What
Yeah.
superpowers would you want, and then how would you dumb it down?
Yeah, how
to,
do you
like,
make it work
exist
in the meat space?
in our world?
How do you make it
Somebody
work in
is
the meat
going to
space?
pick Wolverine, and it's going to sound real painful. Whatever
It's going to be,
yeah.
well, I think somebody like is doing that. Like people have like body modifications or whatever. But okay, our very last piece of user feedback, as always, is our phone togger for the day. All right, so our phone togger for the day today is from Omar, and he says, "Hello, I'm Omar. Hope you still remember me from the Titanic Photoshop." He was the one who photoshopped us onto the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
So this is my trip to the Sandhills Desert in Al Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So this is in Saudi Arabia. It's a little bit far from the city. At first, I just wanted to take a picture of a sandhill, but luckily a herd of camels walked by, and I took this picture by my iPhone 6.
The
So
camels
there's
just walking
right back
around.
there. Yeah, they're just chilling. They're just walking about, which is pretty cool.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
He said, and I also wrote Tomorrow Daily on the sand. So he put a TD in the sand for us. You made a Tomorrow Daily mark in Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Unless he knows like a friend named Thomas Danford or something like that. And he sent
good
it to
old
them
Tom
too.
Danford.
Tom Danford.
Who doesn't know Tom
That's
Danford?
fantastic. Next
It's
he's got to like
awesome.
draw Ashley.
Yeah,
in the
I'm just gonna
sand.
be in the sand. Like, you know those sand artists who like swipe the sand and then it's like a person's face?
Yep.
It's gonna be like that.
That's
next
gonna
time.
be him.
That's what I'm, fingers crossed.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best. He's my new
Super good,
favorite
Omar.
viewer now.
He says, I really love the show. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and
that's
keep
great.
up your good work
Yeah,
with your
that was
photography.
fantastic. Thank you.
If you guys want to submit your photography, you
was
can
amazing.
totally do that. You're going to have a lot to live up to. You can email us tomorrow@cnet.com, send us a link to your picture, and give us a little story. We like stories. We like to hear about what the circumstances were around your picture and what you took it with. If you absolutely hate email, that's fine. If you're one of those cool millennials who only uses social media, you can find us online, Tomorrow Daily, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the usual places, Tomorrow Daily TV over on Google+.
And if you're on YouTube,
we are there.
yeah, we're there. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. I've been responding to a lot of them.
Kale is really into the YouTube
I
comments.
like YouTube comments.
If you want to talk to
admitted
Kale,
somebody the other day that I
that's where to
watch.
find him.
I thought about it. I watch about 3 hours of YouTube a day. It's not cool.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But you're really
it's a
into
new
YouTube,
form
though.
It's the new medium. Anyway.
Yeah.
So don't forget to subscribe there. I still don't think likes do anything, but you can leave a comment.
Give us a thumbs up just to make us feel
Man,
good.
you want them so bad. And
I
then
just
if you're
like a thumbs up, you know.
and then
like
if you're
the top.
listening on iTunes, give us a good rating and share us with your loved ones.
And if you would like to find us individually on Twitter, you can do that. I'm over at Ashley Esqueda.
And I'm at Kale Anonymous.
Pretty straightforward.
Pretty
easy.
straightforward, yeah.
Pretty easy to find us. But that is it for the show. We will be back tomorrow with a brand new slate of weird, wonderful, awesome geek news and tech stuff for you to enjoy and talk about with your friends and seem really, really cool and more knowledgeable and in the know
Like the
than
blood
they are.
game thing?
Yeah, like Bloodsport. You can tell people about Bloodsport.
Tell one person that. They'll flip out.
They'll flip out. They'll be like, oh my God, that's crazy. But that's it for the show. So be good humans, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.